Hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. I'm doing all right myself, hanging in there, another day down. And I'm here at nighttime just thinking to myself, oh, I better do a video and get it up before midnight. So here I am again. And this topic right now that I'm going to be talking about is going to be called They Use the Word or to Divide Us. So, it's just talking about how they use the word or to divide us. So my argument is that the L eats, the L, like, because L means God. These dudes think they're gods. Okay. My argument is that the L eats, the elites, um, trick us over and over with just one word, the word or. And what I mean by that is they say, oh, it's going to be black or white, or you're liberal or conservative, or you're a Democrat or a Republican, this or that. They're making us subconsciously and automatically choose one side or the other without realizing that we probably have characteristics of both sides, and we can probably understand good things from both sides and bad things from both sides. But it leads us into automatically choosing whichever side we naturally resonate with more. So people who are more with their heart or with their right brain is going to be more leaning in more towards emotion and creativity, and they're going to be more liberal leaning most likely, right? And then the converse of that is somebody who's thinking with the other side of the brain. You know what I mean? With the left, and conservatives are going to use the left side of their brain, which is logic and mathematics and reasoning and things like that, and they know that not everybody's brain's perfectly balanced 50-50, that everybody's leaning more towards one side than the other for the most part, and all they have to do is get you to willingly participate in that of choosing one or the other. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, we hate each other after 3 years. And we're like, when we could have probably been best friends if we weren't like, oh, one person's a liberal, but I'm a conservative, and so I hate them and I'm better than them, and I would never be friends with them. If you guys didn't have that, like, that put you guys at each other's necks like that, you guys could, for all you know, you guys could have been best friends, or you guys could have opened a company that ends up creating a cure for cancer. And doesn't happen now, because this is how Satan works in this matrix: is he pits us against one another when we should be placing unity over scrutiny. We should be together and be loving and caring about one another. And this is how he drives a wedge in it and pits us against one another. So, like I said, black or white, that's true. Colors are different colors and all that. So they speak as if all things have to be like this, one or the other, when they clearly can be some of both, as I just argued. It's not God or the Big Bang. It's God and the Big Bang. It's the Big Bang because of God. God spoke the world into existence, and then the Big Bang happened. You never think of it like that? They always tell you to choose one or the other. It's religion or science, or it's God's creation, or it's the Big Bang, or it's Darwin's theory, or whatever, or we evolved from apes, or it's no, that definitely didn't happen because we were intelligently and creatively designed in God's image. Like, what is up with that? You know what I mean? And some of those do hold an effect, like that it would be one or the other. So that's what tricks our brain into thinking that every scenario where they use the word or, it's got to be like that as well, when that's not the case. And this is where they get us with the whole left or right, like, which side of the aisle are you on? And then all of a sudden we're at wars with each other: verbal wars, literal wars, um, all this bad stuff that shouldn't be happening. We should be getting along. And, that just shows that, to an extent, Satan's winning. He's not fully winning. He could win in the beginning, but not in the end. But anyways, and you might say, but Josh, why would the elites even want to do this? Or why would evil people at the top want to do this? It's simple: to divide us, to pit us against one another, to give us a false sense of moral superiority to the other side, which leads to a huge boost of ego and pride, one of the most serious sins. What was it that, why was Lucifer cast out of heaven like a bolt of lightning again. Oh yeah, that's right, because of his pride. And then we celebrate pride like it's a good thing. It's not a good thing. It was the most serious sin that led to all the other sins. But hey, they wish to separate us from God. That's the first thing. Think of it. They took the Pledge of Allegiance out of schools. Then they waited 5 to 10 years, and then they started implementing plan indoctrination, where all the teachers are just woke and stuff like that, and pushing agendas on people when you should let kids be kids, let them grow up and think what they want. But when I went to school, I didn't know if my teacher was liberal or conservative. I didn't know either way. They just taught the subject and they were great teachers. That's it. So, but they wish to separate us from God, because if we all stay connected to God, then their entire charade collapses. Their house of cards come tumbling down. You know what I'm saying? So here are some examples of how they use the word or, O-R, like or. So the Big Bang or creation from God. Science fiction or faith, religion or spirituality, liberal or conservative, Democrat or Republican. Those like 5 different ways. I know number 4 and 5 are pretty much the same, but that's just what I'm saying. These choices of one or the other divide people and pit us against one another. So science versus faith, for some examples of how Satan is doing this, and science versus faith, it leads to fallouts amongst friends and family. Many arguments come from the ego instead of genuinely trying to understand where the other person is coming from. So, it limits potential friendships and relationships from happening, that disconnect. So that's the bad thing that can happen. The next one, religion versus spirituality. That limits every one of us from attaining full enlightenment, because I've attained it multiple times, especially and particularly actually in 2023 multiple times, with the successful combination of my belief in Jesus Christ and God, creator of heaven and earth, and my spiritual intuition as well, because I was doing certain practices that you can do, breathing exercises, visualization, listening to frequencies, breathing in, humming, doing different ones, chakra work, all that. But I don't do crystals or anything like that, or sage, because I believe that's more borderline witchcraft. But just balancing your energy centers, because we're made up of energy, I really don't see the harm in that. I just, and I'm still consider myself Christian, Catholic, my whole life. But yeah, that's me. And it's just funny because they always try to make me pick religion or spirituality. And it's like, brother, I have both. I don't know what to tell you. You can try to tell me I can't, but I do. And that's what I currently do. So I know it's true. I know it to be true. So it's possible because it is. But okay. But yeah, it stops you from reaching these certain levels of enlightenment by embracing both of them, Not to mention that wars were fought over religious differences and disputes. So that's crazy. Liberal versus conservative. This particular divide breeds pure hatred for all members of the opposite side, unfortunately. Friendships, relationships, done. Potential friendships and potential relationships, prevented. Literal fistfights, tear gas, mace, weapons, gang and mob mentality. And it also birthed the far left and the far right. If you think about it, people have died over politics, literal. So death, I guess, is the worst scenario possible for that, which is horrible. And this is all because they acted like we didn't have the option to say, I'm some of both, or I'm independent, which I am, by the way. And I see some of both sides. So I see good and bad on both sides. I thought that's what most people saw, but I guess they're getting people hook, line, and sinker. Sure, I lean one way more than the other, but that's fine. I still see both sides, and I try not to fall under that sense of moral superiority, like, oh, well, the other side is this or that. Like, both sides have their faults, but both sides have some great things to mention. So, don't let them fool you. And yeah, Satan and his minions and the elites, Satan, his minions, and the elites are constantly sowing chaos, division, hatred, violence, dissonance, confusion, pride, inflated egos, moral superiority, and much, much more. We need to directly combat this with unity, understanding, tolerance, acceptance, love, peace, joy, camaraderie, loyalty, passion, righteousness, and solidarity. This is how we fight back. This is how good will win in the end. All good people need to place their perceived differences to the side and unite. We must come together so that true light can shine brightly enough to vanquish the darkness. This is the point of my video tonight. That's all I got, okay? And so until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace, guys. Love you.